And the first thing I actually wanted to talk about is the trailer for the new Dune series. So we're gonna watch the trailer. We're gonna do a little trailer reaction, and then we're gonna just talk about it, and then we'll move on to the next subject. So is everybody ready? Can everybody hear the trailer? Let me play it a little bit.
Here.
It's
Oh,
breathtaking.
we got to hit the trailer first. Yeah.
Can everybody hear
When
that?
you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive
I
in,
heard something.
you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in.
Yes, it's called swimming.
So can y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Video, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, Caleb,
I
you
don't-
good?
I don't hear it.
All right, you don't hear it? All right, let me. Let's see. Okay, play it. Play it.
I don't believe you.
Oh,
What
okay,
about
here.
now? Okay, all right. I'll rewind it. All right, sorry now. Play. All right.
It's breathtaking.
When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in.
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
In the shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets. But the darkest of them all may remain. The end of House Atreides. Your father didn't believe in revenge. What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Don't try to impress anyone. You're brave, we all know that. Be simple. Be direct. Nothing fancy.
I understand. Nothing fancy.
You will never lose me, Paul Atreides.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
May thy knife chip and shatter.
All right, so that is the trailer for Dune Part 2, and I am most interested in wanting to know what Travis thinks about this as a filmmaker. Did you see the first movie, Travis?
Yes, I saw it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dennis's work. From his first film until now. I think his production has gotten even bigger, more elaborate. I just love the way he paces, the way he blocks his shots, and the choices he makes is really good.
What was his first film?
The first film I saw was a film short. Dang, you put me on the spot. I can't remember the name of it right now. It was give me a moment. It'll come.
No, you got. We can look it up real quick. That's the beauty of Google.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's Google.
Because you know what, I had never heard of him until the Dune movie came out. Somebody told me he directed was the Blade Runner sequel, I believe. Oh, he did Arrival. Yeah, he did do Arrival. I did see that one.
Yeah.
But I watched the movie, but I never knew who the director was.
Yeah.
He did Sicario, Enemy, Prisoners. Let's see. Looks like his first thing he did in 1998 called August 32nd on Earth. I never even heard of that, but it might have been a short.
Yeah.
He did do another short called 120 Seconds to Get Elected. Happiness Bound. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
I guess my introduction to him was probably Arrival.
Mm.
I didn't know who I didn't. I guess I just never looked up the director. But when I heard about the first Dune movie, I was excited because I've always been a big Dune fan. I read the book I think in high school, the first one. I haven't read any of the other ones. I just read the first one, and then I watched the movie, of course, when I was a kid. I think it was for my first introduction to Dune, the '80s one, the one that was directed by what's his name, David Lynch. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
David Lynch. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my personal favorite is, even though with the bad production and the costumes, my personal favorite is the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ugh.
I thought the
No.
storyline was much clearer. I mean, when you go in with David Lynch, David Lynch is, he did Elephant Man and,
yeah. Eraserhead. Yeah,
Eraserhead and stuff.
yeah.
I mean, I mean, his style is a lot different.
And
So
and when
his
you research
imagination.
that movie, there was a lot of conflict between him and I think in the production house because he has his own whatever, and I think they wanted something more traditional. And
Yeah.
I think it's one
Yeah.
of
They
his
want.
least favorite movies that he directed. And
Yeah.
also, I think the problem with that movie, and also really the first Dune movie that came here, directed by Dennis, is that first book is very dense, and I think
Mhm.
to do it justice, I don't think he can do it like in 2 hours. And that's why I like the miniseries. It gave enough time for the characters to kind of be fleshed out. Some of the backstory stuff and some of the what do you call it, the intrigue and the mystery and the not in the what's it called, the I think it is called intrigue when you have people politicking, kind of like Game of Thrones. What's the word I'm looking for? Where they're doing all their political intrigue.
Yeah.
I thought the miniseries did that, portrayed that much better. Even though I liked Denis Villeneuve's first movie here, I just thought it left out too much, and I would have preferred a
Yeah.
miniseries. But I am excited about the second one.
I agree. I agree. I mean, I read the first book. I didn't read all of them. I don't know if that trailers eventually turns into a big worm in the story. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's where
What? Oh man.
yeah, it kind of
Joking.
loses me.
Joking.
That's
no,
where it
it's
loses me.
later. I mean, it's not in
Yeah,
this. I
it's
mean,
not in this.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it starts getting crazy.
Matter of fact, I think
Guy who,
his son, yeah, turns into
yeah,
yeah,
you're right. The guy who wrote the book, him and his wife, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
yeah, yeah. That's where a lot started losing me, and then they started cloning Paul and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I was like, all right, because
Yeah.
one of the things about Dune is I don't know if it comes across as well in the movies, even though they kind of hinted at it in the latest rendition, is that it's actually a Dune is actually in many ways a critique of kind of like the white savior. Because one of the criticisms of the Dune movie, the recent one that came out, and Dune itself, is that it has a white savior complex. But in the books, um, it's warned that okay, this is what happens when these types of things happen when you exalt someone to like godhood or some kind of grandiose leader or whatever. um, things don't always work out like how you think they work out. You know what I'm saying? There's negatives that come with the pros when you have like an outsider come in and then he's different, so he can kind of rally people because he's different. And a good example of that would be Native Americans. Native Americans, I mean, they're practically wiped out, and some of them did side. What was it called? The seven civilized tribes or whatever. Side with the outsiders. So it's not always like how they try to depict it in movies. Like you got this foreigner who comes, and because he's a foreigner, he's better at everybody else and everything else, and he kind of saves the day or uses the group as a way to get back at the other group or his original group. So I always thought that was interesting about Dune and how sometimes it's misread as a white savior complex story, which at a very fundamental level it kind of is, but on a deeper level it isn't. It's actually a critique of it. But to sell it, they have to sell it like that to get people to watch it, because if they get too political, then people gonna start crying about wokeism and stuff like that. So I always thought that was interesting about Dune. But please, everyone else chime in. I've been talking enough.
I'm excited about it coming out.
Yeah.
I saw the
I'm
first
excited.
one, and I actually bought the first one on Prime. And I always liked the first Dune, and I watched it religiously. And I was like, usually when they go to remake something, they make it worse. They try to include a whole bunch of modern stuff in there, and they just destroy it. And like, eh. But this is one time where I felt I watched a movie that was remade, and at least visually, it was improved. And I even like they even did the myth a little better with the people whispering, such, and them not believing it, that he was the Kshizat Shadrach, So I'm pretty excited about it coming out, and I might even go to the theater and see this one.
Lucent Studio.